Imagine waking up one day and discovering everything you have worked for many years is gone. This may include your savings in your bank account, your YouTube channel that you have worked so hard to build, your TikTok account or Facebook account that is monetized. The reason being identity theft. In this video, we are going to define what is identity theft, how it occurs, and the measures you can take to protect yourself from identity theft. What is identity theft? Identity theft occurs when an individual uses another personal information to commit crime. There is no one who is safe from identity theft. However, there are individuals who are at higher risk of identity theft, and these include individuals working in the military because they are mostly outside. Another one is the deceased because they cannot complain because their family members do not report to the authorities that the individual or the creditors that the individuals has passed on. Another one is children. Another one is the elderly, especially those homes where they are taken care of. They tend to trust people who are taking care of them. Another one is student. And there are two types of in which identity theft can occur. One is traditional method. Traditional method is simply where individuals uses another person identity without changing any details. Another one is synthetic identity theft. This mostly occurs when someone creates a completely new identity. There are various types of identity theft, and these ones are classified based on the industries they affect, and they include the following. One, business identity theft. This is where individuals steal the identity of known businesses and operate them as their own. And this one is very dangerous because they destroy the reputation of known brands. For example, it's people who trade on knockoff shoes, maybe Nike shoes or any other brand. There are various types of identity theft, and these ones are classified based on the industry they affect. These may include business identity theft. This is simply where individuals uses known brands to operate business as their own. Another one is financial identity theft, and this can occur in two ways. One is where criminals use your identity to either gain access to your accounts, and they use this identity to siphon all their funds in your accounts. Another one, they can use a fake identity to create a new account, and they can use this account to commit crime. For example, they can use it to launder money or store criminal funds. Another one is medical identity theft. This is where individual uses a fictitious identity to obtain health services. Another one is tax identity theft. This is where individuals use another person's identity to claim tax different from tax authority. Another one is criminal identity theft. This is simply where individuals are arrested and instead of giving their real name, they steal another person's identity and it as their own. And this can even land you in jail. You're forced to pay for a crime you never committed. Another one is employment identity theft. This is simply where individuals uses the identity that they have forged to obtain employment. And the last one is insurance fraud. This is where someone forged identity to obtain the insurance benefit. And this can also be linked to health insurance fraud. What are the methods that criminals use to access your information? One is dumpster diving. This is going through your trash. In your ways, they can discover so many information. One, for example, you throw away the photocopies of your ID, bank statements. These documents can be used to forge your identity. Another one is piggybacking. This is simply following individuals with access in restricted areas. Another method that can be used to steal your identity is discarded device. You had an older laptop or a phone, then you discarded it. Individuals who have intent of stealing your identity can use these discarded devices to acquire your email, or they can recycle the bin and obtain all the files that you have deleted, or they can use softwares that there's some softwares that can be used to install all the deleted files in your computer. Another method that individuals can gain access to your personal information is farming. It's simply where people clone website of known organizations. For example, let's say like they clone a site like Alibaba. If you go to those clone site that you enter your financial details or personal data, all your information is stolen and it is used to either steal all the funds in your account, or they can use those details to either scam other people. Another is shoulder surfing. For example, individuals observe you as you enter your password and cram those passwords, and they use it to commit fraud. Another common method that can be used to steal your identity is social engineering. This is simply where individuals take advantage of your human weakness to obtain your personal information. For example, you can be a trusting individual, or maybe you have an addiction. They can exploit that weakness to extract your personal information. Another one is malicious insiders, people who have grievances with an organization. They can leak your information as part of their revenge. Another one is phishing. Phishing is simply where people impersonate individuals in authority or representative of known brands. For example, they can pretend to be customer care and they contact you, maybe requiring you to update your details. And once you send your details, they use it to create a completely different profile and use it to commit crime. This can be done in various ways. This can be used through SMS, called smishing. They can also use vishing. Vishing is where maybe they use phones to call you or video. Phishing can be of two types. It can be general or spear. Spear is where they target specific individuals. General is where they just target everyone within the system, and those people who respond are the one they target. Those who respond to their messages are the people whose identity will be stolen. Another one is hack. This is done by professionals. They just hack your system. Another one is installation of malware, and the major one is spyware. Another method commonly used is fictitious job application. For example, you are told to apply for a given position that is non-existent, and they use the application document that you are going to send to them to create a new identity, or use those documents to scheme other people using your name. Those are the various methods in which criminals can gain access to your identity. There are various ways in which you can protect yourself from identity theft, and these include: one, limit some of the personal details that you share on your social media accounts. Another one, do not give your government identity unless it is extremely important. Another one, avoid carrying your personal identification or official documents in social events, for example, in parties, because in those parties you can fall victim to identity theft. Another one is using complex password. Another one is installation of antiviruses in your devices. Another one is ensure that you don't open links from unknown individuals. Avoid accessing suspicious website. Another one is ensuring that you don't give your personal details to unknown individuals. Another way you can prevent your identity from being stolen is completely shredding all the sensitive documents, or if you have no shredder, you can decide to burn them. Another one is using softwares to completely delete all the sensitive files in your devices before you discard them or dispose them. Another one is avoid using public Wi-Fi. Also, do not open links from individuals. Delete them even without opening them, especially messages sent by individuals that are not even saved in your phone book. Those are some of the various ways individuals can protect themselves from identity theft. Now, how can businesses protect themselves from identity theft? One, limit the amount of data or personal data you collect from your clients. Collect the only essential data that you require. Always do a screening or investigate the sum of your employees to ensure that they don't leak sensitive information. Another one is securing your networks and computer system. Always ensure there is a protocol of accessing and destroying the personal details of clients. Another method that businesses can protect themselves from identity theft is use of complex password. Another one is requiring use of biometric password. This is maybe fingerprints or facial recognition. Another one is physical control, where, for example, in sensitive areas, they are always manned by security. Okay. Another one is ensure that you do the background check for individuals who offer external services, for example, cleaners and contractors. Another method you can protect your business from data theft is training. You can protect your business from identity theft is the development of data breach and response plan, so that your employees can know what to do in case of a data breach. In case you discover that your identity has been stolen, what do you do? 1. Ensure you report to the police and obtain a police report and keep a copy of the report. This can protect you in case of criminal investigation. Another one is close out your account. Report to the relevant authorities, for example, your banks, and inform them that your credits or debit cards have been stolen and suspend all activities in your account. Other measures you can take to, in case you discover your identity has been stolen, is reporting to credit reporting agency. This will help monitor your credit activities, and they can report any suspicious credit activities. We have highlighted various ways in which identity theft can be used to advance criminal activities. Now, in this section, we are going to deal on various ways identity change can be used for good. And some of the various ways in which identity change can be used to advance humanity include the following. One, in case of religious belief, change of faith. For example, if someone convert to Islam, they may opt to change their name. And most of the notable key figures who have done this is Muhammad Ali. Another one is representation of rebirth. Individuals who have decided to change their life, they may opt to change their name. For example, maybe if criminals and convicts, once they have changed their ways, they may opt to change their names. One of the notable key figures who have done this is Malcolm X. Another one is, for example, drug addicts. Once they recover from their addiction, they may opt to change their name. Another one, even though this one is controversial, is transgenders. Once they transition from one sexuality to another, they may opt to change their names to represent their new sexuality or new sex identity. Another one is individuals working undercover work. For example, the police, they may change their names to protect their cover. I hope you have learned something interesting in this video, and you do everything in your power to protect yourself from identity theft. And until next time, goodbye.